We are back with our sponsor, Greg Niblock, today, attorney and founder of Niblock and Associates. And today we're going to talk kind of about the next step of debt gone bad as you've taken us through this process. And today it's really about the judgment creditors for execution tools.
Right. This is sort of the final installation of my book, Collection Lawsuits, and it's the execution stage. And I'm sorry that execution and what's going on, and our hearts go out to the people. It really shows that evil is in the world, and I'm so sorry about that. But in the legal world, once a judgment is rendered against a debtor, it enters into the execution phase. And the first and most popular tool in the creditor's toolbox is the writ of garnishment. And a writ of garnishment just says, hey, somebody owes you money or is holding money for you, and we want you to give it to us, the person that's holding it.
Right.
So they can file a writ of garnishment on your employer, typically, or your bank. So if you have money in the bank, they're going to suck that out.
They're going to get that.
And if you're owed money from your employer, they can take that. Additionally, if anybody owes you money and they can identify that person, they can file a writ of garnishment on them, and they'll be required to give that money to the creditor.
Right.
So that's probably the most popular tool of extracting that money.
We always hear about garnished wages.
Yes,
I think that's
garnished
what we
wages,
think about your
and
paycheck.
that really hurts in that, you know, if they garnish a checking account, guess what's going to happen? Boy, you're going to have those checks bouncing around.
Right. It's a mess.
It's a mess.
Okay, tool number 2 is the judicial lien.
Judicial lien, that's where if a judgment is rendered in Arkansas and you have property that you own in Arkansas, real estate like a house or land, if you go to refi that or you go to sell that, you can't refi it unless you satisfy the garnishment. How do you satisfy the judgment? And how do you satisfy the judgment? It's by paying it off. So they've really got you over barrel at that point. Additionally, if you want to transfer good title to somebody, you can't give clear title to that person unless you saitsatisfy it. And of course, if we want to cure this, how do we do it? Well, you do it by filing a bankruptcy. And if it's a judgment lien, you can have that judgment lien avoided or wiped out. Okay.
There you go. Okay, tool number 3 then is the writ of execution.
The writ of execution, that's where the sheriff comes out to your place and says, hey, we're going to take all your stuff and we're going to sell it at an auction and take that money and give it to the creditor, that's pretty radical stuff.
Yeah, so this is possibly your home?
Well, typically it's going to be your personal property. So if you had a vehicle that was paid for or just anything that you had, your guns or whatever household goods you had.
Four-wheelers, things like that.
Any of those things could be taken by the sheriff and sold.
Okay, tool number 4 then is the writ of body attachment. What's that?
Okay, this is the most insidious way. And typically, see, a judge can issue a writ of body attachment if there's been an order that directs somebody to do something and they fail to do that. And usually the way it's set up is the creditor will, once the judgment is rendered, propound, I know that's one of those legal words, interrogatories, which is written questions that are required to be answered in written form by the creditor, and file it with the court that says, here's where all my property is, this is all the assets I have, here's all the bank accounts I have. If you don't do that, the creditor can file a motion to require you to do that, and there'll be an order that says you better do it within a certain length of time, and if you don't do it, guess what? They're going to get a writ of body attachment, and that's like a civil warrant. The police can come out and yank you up out of your bed or from the desk that you're sitting at work or wherever you are and take you down, and you are arrested. Now, yes, you can post bond, and guess what the bond's going to be? The amount of debt, usually, that you owe. And you can also get out of that by purging yourself of the contempt, which is usually answering the interrogatories the way you're supposed to. But usually it's all about the money. It's all about them trying to extract the money from you.
To get that money. So doing nothing is not an option. All these things are going to happen eventually. Okay, let's talk about some resolution options.
Okay, resolution option would be pay it if you have the money. Pay it if you can borrow the money. But why borrow money to... That would be insane because you're just...
making more debt.
Making more debt with another person. Usually it's going to be a family member, so that's not a good idea.
And most of us don't have the money if we're in debt.
There's been so many steps along the way that say, you know, pay up, and you're saying, well, I don't have the money. Well, they go to the next step, pay up. Well, I don't have, we just don't have the money.
Third one is let the creditor execute on you.
Right.
Yeah, which
or
we talked
do the
about.
garnishment. which will cause you all kinds of problems. Most employers don't like garnishments, and in Arkansas, you're allowed one, and if the employer wants, sometimes they can let you go.
Okay, and then finally, relief under bankruptcy.
Relief under bankruptcy. You can come see us, give us a call. We'll be happy to guide you through the process and see if you qualify to get relief, because this is it just caused so many problems, family problems, marital problems, your health. You're so stressed, it's hard to sleep. But we do have an answer for you, and we can hit the reset button on your bills.
It is the best way to kind of make all of those other problems go away. All right. We'll remind everybody, of course, about the book.
And if you'd like a copy of the book, The Devil Filed a Lawsuit, Heaven or Hell, your choice, just give our office a call. In the first 50 callers, we'll send a free book to them. And if we can be of any assistance to you, please give us a call. We'll be happy to help.
Here's the information about Niblock and Associates. Thank you for being here today, Greg.
Thank you so much.
We sure appreciate it. Okay, back in a moment. Up next, the great things you can find at